What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you how I made this really cool loop with my friend Miles. We've been making a bunch of loops that are really inspired by past Juice WRLD songs, and we thought this was a really cool one to break down today. If you guys like loops like these, I do have a lot of other ones in the vault too that I can break down. If you guys would like me to break down more loops like this, feel free to let me know down in the comment section. And if you like the way these loops sound, these are all in my weekly melody packs. It's $20 to be permanently added to the list, and if you're interested, send me an email over to gavinhadleybeats@gmail.com and I can get you on the list. You can use this melody, plenty of other melodies everywhere. And we're also lucky enough to have Miles breaking down his guitar part, because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about when it comes to his guitar. So let's get into the video. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at @GavinHadley_. Here we go.
What up, folks? So there were two main ideas on the guitar when I was playing this. One of them is keeping the top two notes mostly the same and just changing the bass note. The second one is that I'm taking advantage of a really cool texture on the guitar, and that's when you play on the lowest three strings up past the 12th fret. So on most acoustic guitars, there's these two dots right here, that's the 12th fret, and I'm just playing right on that for the first chord. And then I'm just moving the bass note down to this chord. And then I'm finally playing this minor triad up here like this. And then I'm bringing the bass note down and playing this last chord. So the reason why I'm really trying to stay up past that 12th fret is because you get this really nice plucking sound if you play with a pick like I am. Most of the notes have a lot of attack and very little sustain, which means that when you mess with the pitch and mess with the speed, you're gonna get a really cool texture out of the notes because it doesn't get as harsh and shrill as if you play on, say, the lower three strings of the guitar. They tend to sound a little weird when you pitch them up and down. When I was making this guitar starter, I knew I wanted to mess with the pitch a lot, as you'll hear in the final sample. As for the effects I put on the guitar, it's really just an electric guitar amp that it's being put through. You could use something like Guitar Rig. Plugin I use this Archetype Corey Wong. It's also got a halftime layer on it, which is giving it that low distorted sound. I also pitched the guitar up 6 steps, which is giving it that really nice bright sound before you pitch it down. Guitars tend to get a lot brighter when you pitch them up, so then when you're pitching them down with halftime, it's gonna sound a little better, so I'd recommend messing with the pitch a lot. I also ended up speeding up the sample quite a lot. I really think when you're making simple guitar starters, you should start with whatever you have and really mess with things like tempo and pitch after the fact, because what it's going to do is it's going to give your guitar a lot more of a textured sound, coupled with the effects that you're going to put on it, such as a guitar amp or reverb or anything like that. So that's the basic approach I had when I was making this guitar loop.
So I have both of his guitars here. I have this vocal. Then it goes into the second part where I'm using a melody that I made with some keys. First, I'm going to start with the vocal chop. I used to make a lot of vocals like this, where I would kind of freestyle mumble rap into the microphone. So this is what everything sounds like without effects. But as for effects, I have an EQ, just drowning it out a lot with taking out a bunch of the high end and a bunch of the low end. Just gives it a more clean sound. After that, we have Echo Boy, the Dirty Slap preset, just a really good preset to add texture. And a little bit of a delay. And then we have more of a delay right here, just filling up space where the vocal isn't actually playing. Then we have a reverb here to help blend everything together, make it a little bit more cohesive and less, just give it more space basically. And to give it even more space and blend it in with the guitar that Miles sent me, I used Ozone Elements, just widening it up a bunch. I have this Addictive Keys here, just really simple. I didn't want to do too much. I really wanted to let Miles' guitar part shine. I just added these A's bouncing off of each other, literally the same note playing the entire time. This is a super cool way to add a fun form of repetition if you do it right. I feel like repetition is just a super cool thing to do in all melodies. And honestly, whether it's a chord progression or something on guitar, I like to have familiar notes like this that are just bouncing off each other the entire time. So I added Effect Rack, the reverse spacious preset, to give it a more reverse sound. Miles thought that would sound cool, and I definitely agree. This is what everything sounds like before effects. Then after this preset, it's like a delay sort of thing, and like the delay reverses the piano sound, gives it a bunch of texture. And then to blend it into the background, we have a reverb just drowning it out in the wet right here. And I wanted to add a little bit of distortion, so I used Tube Screamer, and I just mixed back the mix knob here as well. We have this Addictive Keys chord progression. Really simple chords. We just have our fifths down an octave right here, and then right here as well, and then for this last chord too. And then I said before, I really like my repetitive elements. We just have these notes bouncing off each other the whole time. It just helps build a really cool sense of rhythm, I feel like, using notes, and that's why I do it. I didn't bother randomizing the velocities. This was just a really tucked in the background kind of sound. And then effects that I have on that, just micro shift. This is what it sounds like before, and then after micro shift. I said that it kind of reminded me of like a bouncy ball. I just feel like it gave it a nice round, sort of textured sound. And then finally I have this sound right here. So this was just a super full thought out melody lead that I came up with. The guitar didn't have any sort of top melody, and I didn't really do any top melody in the rest. So I thought, why not just go crazy and have a little fun thing come in with this piano sort of bell sound that I created. It's just a fun thing to do, sometimes experimenting, see where you can go. And this is the sort of melody that you would sing, I would say. So it creates a really cool dynamic, especially like depending on how the artist uses this melody and bounces off of it, whether or not they sing over it or they have this play, or they just have this melody play when there isn't any vocals going, just like in a bridge or something or an intro, and then they come in and maybe sing this melody without this playing. It just gives the artist a bunch of ideas to sort of work off of, and it's definitely not required to use, but I just thought it would be a cool addition. A really easy way for me to sort of build emotion and just create a unique sort of dark sort of sound while staying melodic, bump the mic there, is using chromatics, A sharps, and then the A's, just notes right next to each other in the scale. As to how I came up with this, I just had an idea in my mind. After I came up with this first part, I really wanted to create a way to sort of seal the deal, add a nice response to the call, which is this first part of this melody here. So this note kind of finishes this first part right here, but then I wanted a way to sort of seal the deal on the second part, and then I just used the same note, which is an F. You guys, we have the same rhythm as well as this first part. So everything just sounds super cohesive together. Because this melody is pretty busy, I wanted to keep this second part as simple as possible while still staying meaningful and true to the first part. As you can see, my go-to note to sort of add closure to the melodies was F here. I just put some reverb, some distortion on this piano, exported it out, pitched it down an octave, and then we have the down an octave one right here without effects. Added crystallizer, muffled up octave, echo boy, the dirty slap preset to give it a little bit more texture, and then ozonate elements to widen it. And after that, to fill out the sound even more, I took this version with all of those effects on it, and I just have it layered on top right here, with all of the same effects on it as well. And that right there is the melody. For my layout, I always want to have something that's going to catch the listener's ear right away. And I feel like Miles did such a good job with the texture on this guitar that I didn't have to add any of my other elements. So as you can see, we just start with his guitar. And as for the mindset behind how I structured out the remaining 16 bars, I didn't want the vocal and then the piano lead to be on top of each other because they're kind of two different melodies and I don't think they blend well together. So I just have the vocal right here. This first part is going to be good for the entire song. Second part would be super cool for, say, a build-up, or maybe it'd be easier to sing on this with the vocal too, as opposed to this piano lead. And then the piano lead, like I talked about earlier, could be used in a build-up, in a bridge. Maybe the artist would like to sing that same sort of melody, and then the way that those bounce off of each other could be pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I hope you were able to learn something. As always, feel free to comment down below future video ideas that you guys would like to see from me. Follow me on Instagram at GavinHadley_. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.